November 20th.
Public art is important for so many reasons. Seeing things that are made by another person that didn't exist before. It's something that's just inherently human. There's something in us that reminds us of our kind of wonder. My name is Gregory. I'm the senior manager and curator for the Port of Seattle's public art program. I was born in Houston, Texas. I went to undergraduate at the University of Houston. I was really lucky to have a diverse group of art specialists as instructors who would introduce me to public art. One of them, notably, Luis Jimenez, who was infamous for doing the Denver Mustang. I was also his studio assistant in Hondo, New Mexico, and I worked on that infamous Mustang. So that was my intro to knowing that public art could be a job. And that led me to going into grad school for sculpture because I wanted to be a public artist. I was the Houston Airport's first curator. Seattle, graciously brought me over from Houston. I landed in November of 2018, started work the next morning, and haven't stopped since, to be honest. We're in the Checkpoint 1 zone right now, day 2 of installation. We selected 22 works of art, integrated into a dividing wall, predominantly Pacific Northwest artists, blown glass, sculpted steel, carved wood, a little something for everybody. I have a vision that I think is very much an homage to how it started. I think that the collection started in a smart way with the Nevelson and the Rauschenberg and the Stella, these major heavy hitters that are nationally and internationally known, mixed in with very prominent Pacific Northwest artists like James Washington Jr. and Francis Celentano. This is a collection that started very pure. They got work that looked like art. It didn't look like public art. They let artists be artists. We're at near gate A11 and the A gates, real close to the iconic Cappy Thompson. The artist we're looking at is Dan Friday. Dan is extremely well known in the Pacific Northwest, a strong indigenous artist who is predominantly a glass blower. This is one of his rare neon pieces. We're walking by a relocated Robert Rauschenberg piece. And then we're coming up on Peter Shelton, who has one of the biggest site-specific installations in the airport's collection. These are bronze and these are resin elements above us. It's somebody who grew up in the Pacific Northwest, John Geis. Infinity Column, and it was commissioned in 1973. So this piece has been lit since the 70s. These shapes are influenced by the mountains of the Pacific Northwest. York Factory A from 1972 by Frank Stella. It's noticed worldwide, so that's a statement piece that Seattle's like, look what we put into an airport. I don't think there's another airport in the country that has a Frank Stella painting of that scale hanging prominently on display for all to see. I looked at my job as come in and recognize what was here before and then try to maintain or elevate that. I try to start out opportunities for artists with my team that I have here at the airport. Grace Flood, Andy Arkley. That means creating more opportunities for artists to be in this legacy that has started since the 70s, but also just raise the bar. Now, the De La Torres were selected for this restroom. They are the first Chicano artists in the collection. There's hand-blown glass elements. It's called a lenticular. It has 2 images in one, so as you move, it animates the image. What can we do that no other airport in the country or the world is doing? I think that the public feels it. People who come in here, they see things that they might see in a museum or they might see in a gallery. Everybody looks at it and they see a standard that's set here.
We literally are one of the largest airport art programs in the US. We're getting a lot of inquiries from airports around the world and in the US about our art program.
There's not an artist I've worked with in my 6.5 years here who hasn't just thrown the kitchen sink of their energy and their ideas at trying to succeed in being a part of this kind of storied collection. And you could always tell when somebody likes it because there's already fingerprints all over it. I feel like I'm a good conduit between the artist that we're contracted with I'm also somebody who has an ongoing and a constant studio practice. I'd say my three favorite mediums right now would be neon, bronze, and then the occasional printmaking.
We're very fortunate to have him. He's a very, very high caliber artist. He's not someone we just assign to the program and say, you're responsible for art, but he is a professional artist himself and a wonderful curator for the program.
Cutting them all to similar dimension and seeing how they work on a pattern that will eventually be approximately 4 foot in diameter, kind of nurse log. It's a Yale Wolf studio here in Seattle. He's kind enough to let me bend a few things with him. I try to hit all of the studios and all of the open gallery openings. Keeping a finger on the pulse, basically, of what artists are doing in this town. Excited about these shows, 3 in one night, 25 artists from all over Seattle. For the most part, light-based artists, and you know, bringing light. This is my neighborhood, probably the best place I've ever lived. There is a vibrant art community here that is, I think it just needs to be like, you know, brought up a little bit. So I take that as, that's my responsibility in my position, is to get to know the community, to be a part of it.
At Bylight, at our community exhibit, it's a show that's curated by Gregory. Is Tommy here? Where's Tommy? Thank you, Tommy.
Sorry, everybody, one more thing. If you are down to hit, there's 2 more shows in Columbia City. I want to always represent my position here as somebody who is going to generate opportunities to elevate the local and regional artists. So please join us, follow !Guy. Enjoy show. So I work with as many collaborative teams and fabricators just to learn.
I can't hear you! Make some noise if you love Radio Art Center!
And I think me being an artist has allowed me the behind-the-scenes look into those folks who've been waiting for this opportunity for years. We've got artists who are kind of hometown heroes in a way. My hope is when people come to the airport that it's not something they could ignore. Drawing, to painting, to ceramics, to carved wood. I think that we've been so intentional with where we put things that people are going to feel the art in this airport. It's going to be undeniable. Hopefully it makes them see the world a little bit differently. It should just make you feel, you know, not alone. You're a human being and you're traveling through a visually cultural, strong destination.
Witness Tommy's curatorial eyes throughout SeaTac Airport and follow his personal art journey at TommyGregory.com.